U.S. health industry is generating a larger share of insurance premium from Medicare Advantage, Medicaid, and individual commercial businesses. A consequence of this expanding premium stream is insurers face additional exposure to government-sponsored business and a growing dependence on state and federal funding, along with the rules and regulations that apply. Here to discuss the implications of growth from this government-sponsored business are Associate Director Doniella Pliss and Senior Financial Analyst Jeffrey Lane. They are the co-authors of a recent AM Best special report on this subject. Jeff, can you tell us which government-sponsored sector has been offering the most premium growth for health insurers?
The Medicaid sector has reported the largest increase in net premiums written. Net premium grew to $224 billion at year-end 2017 from $43 billion in 2007. Growth was a result of a Medicaid expansion under the Affordable Care Act and states turning to managed care to run traditional Medicaid programs. Medicaid continues to grow, but at a slower pace. Fewer states have adopted expansion, and a larger portion of the qualified and easily reachable people were already enrolled. However, there's still opportunities for growth as the states expand to additional programs.
So the report notes that underwriting margins for Medicaid deteriorated in 2016 and 2017. What's behind that drop-off?
The higher margins in the previous year were due to the states allowing higher rates in the initial years of Medicaid expansion for a new population with unknown risks. There was a delay in utilization for new members, which resulted in better experience and ultimately lower rate increases in 2016 and 17. Medical expenses for this population accelerated, contributed to the declines, and had some chronic conditions. So ultimately there were higher claims in the later years.
And Doniella, an analysis of the individual market that was established under the Affordable Care Act was also included in your report. What were the findings there in terms of growth and performance?
Membership and revenue for the individual segment increased significantly following the passage of the Affordable Care Act. The revenue growth intensified because of the very heavy rate increases that carriers had to put in place to offset the adverse selection and risk pool deterioration, as well as some unexpected regulatory changes. In terms of earnings, this segment incurred significant underwriting losses in 2014 through 2016. However, the earnings recovered in 2017 across the board, and this was due to lower medical trend that carriers observed, as well as the result of the rate increases, as well as some changes to the product that were implemented.
So what are some of the overarching challenges that insurers face in this government-sponsored segment?
One of the common challenges is the pressure on liquidity due to potential delay in timing of the payments from the government, especially from the state government as it relates to Medicaid payment. And we've seen carriers struggle in those states where there were budgetary issues over the last couple of years. Other challenges, of course, include potential unexpected changes in the regulation or legislation, as well as very strict compliance requirements imposed by the government programs on the carriers to participate.
So how have these health insurers responded?
To offset liquidity pressures, health insurance has been holding a high amount of liquid assets. In addition, they've been establishing access to additional liquidity through bank lines of credit or Federal Home Loan Bank borrowing. And we've seen carriers using these both sources of liquidity to supplement their regular sources. In addition, large organizations established internal lines of credit where affiliates are able to borrow in case they have some liquidity needs. In terms of offsetting pressures on the regulatory front, a lot of carriers have been revising their business model and operations to be able to be more flexible in light of changing regulation, and as well as accommodating the needs of different population under government programs.
Thank you so much for speaking with us today.
It's our pleasure.
Pleasure to be here.
To view a full copy of the report, visit ambest.com. For AM Best TV, I'm Meg Green.